We are diving into The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 2, Episode 2. Welcome to Screens in Focus, the podcast where we talk about TV and movies. I'm Diana. Sam is back. Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So this latest episode gripped me more than I thought it would. This wasn't just an explosive episode. There were layers of beauty, brutality, betrayal, and a violin solo that just absolutely broke me. And I can't wait to get your take on it. But first, we're going to pose our question of the day, which happens to relate to music. And that is there a piece of music that instantly brings you comfort or makes you emotional? Okay, so you're going to think about that, Sam. Friends out there, we want you to think about it too. We're going to answer it later on in the episode. But right now, we're going to get to it. And so I want to begin with the power of music in this violent world. I want to know what you thought about Victor's death, what it symbolized, and why it might have felt more tragic to lose an artist compared to the fighters that were lost in this episode.
So I think his death, it symbolized a lot of things. I think, first of all, it was a twist that the DAMA and the Croat was kind of like he's watching like over Negan and he's like reporting to the DAMA, just shows that a big brother is always watching. And it makes him realize that he can't trust him any longer. I don't know how much he really did like trust him, like probably really, but now he knows he can't at all. And it also makes me wonder what else he's told her. And then I think it also really shows just how brutal the DAMA really is. Poor Benjamin, I didn't mean to laugh, but he's just like, I mean, he's experiencing all this for the first time. He's never seen New York. He's getting captured. He's terrified out of his mind. And then he watches a guy get stabbed with a pencil and she just calmly walks over and like plops it back in his pocket and like trots away to go open up some champers. I did get a chuckle out of it, but then I felt really bad for him because like, holy hell, that's traumatizing. But I kind of think it does. I hope that it shows people that the DAMA doesn't really care about her people. They're just kind of like a means to an end. She didn't know who Victor was and it didn't matter to her. She knew that this would hurt Negan and that's the whole purpose of it. I do think that it's more tragic to lose an artist because the fighters are choosing to put themselves in harm's way. So if they get killed, it's kind of like you expected it, or not expected it, but you know that that's always a possibility. But Victor's an artist, and yeah, he's part of the DAMA's crew, but what else is he going to do? So it's not like he's like a soldier. But what I love most about Victor's speech about how he found his way to Bach, tried all these other things, I think he's showing Negan what he's going to end up having to do with like New York and the gangs. And he's not going to be the Negan that he was when he entered New York. He's not the Negan that he is now, but he'll find like a middle ground. I think he'll find his way in all of that.
You said so much because I feel like Victor's death symbolized so much and it really did impact me. And with what you were saying about how Victor learned as a kid to find his way through music and his father would make him practice and all of that. But that's what, for me, that death symbolized that loss because we have this type of person who has played this since he was a kid, played it so well, learned it back before the apocalypse happened. And so there is this beauty about it and this history and this culture that without him is completely gone. And in this world, where would somebody take lessons like that ever again or have the music, the written music to play it? I'm not saying anybody couldn't pick up a violin and figure it out because there are brilliant people, but that's not likely, especially when you're trying to survive in this world. So I think when we have this type of beauty around us, it's hard to see someone with all this power and appears to love art and music and then she just uses it as a tool for power. She really doesn't care about it. To me, she doesn't. And I just thought it was so tragic and it hit me so hard. I played the violin when I was a kid. I didn't play very well. I only did it for a little bit, but I've always just had this affinity for that music. And I also love other music. I've played other instruments. My sons have played instrument guitars, bass and percussions and all sorts. So I just am a lover of music. And that's why it was so painful to me to see this loss. And also she's trying to build this world, or not this world. She's trying to build this city, New York City, and bring it back. And you see the Radio City lights go up and you can imagine the theater that's in there and everything else. But if you have this theater, you have to have people play in that theater, right? I mean, of course, numerous things can happen there, but I'm thinking, and now you're just so easily getting rid of somebody who could have played on that stage. So, yeah, I definitely think that she just dismissed all of that and is just trying to get to Negan with this act for her. It just didn't matter to her. And I know she told him, "Oh, you're living in the past. Bach lived in the past, and basically we don't need that."
I feel like maybe the Dama is someone who like wanted to be a person in like high society who actually enjoyed this kind of stuff. And maybe she really doesn't, and that's why she just doesn't really care. But it's like it's her, like it's like a character, and she can hide behind it, you know?
Yeah.
But it really is sad though, because like the violin is so beautiful. It's like so haunting, and it like just when he was doing like the three, I think it was three, it was the three types that he tried. It's the same instrument. It sounds so different. Just beautiful. I don't know they used to play the violin. That's so fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about when I was really young.
Mhm.
I would have continued it, but that's another subject to be talking about. But
That's for
yes,
another podcast.
yeah, another podcast episode. But yes, I just remember I did love it though. I love the way it sounded. It's just such a beautiful instrument. So yeah, just gorgeous. So, okay, Negan and Maggie, to me, I really saw them step up, be these leaders, have these strategic thoughts, and no one listens to them. I mean, they were listening to Negan a little bit, but not Maggie. Why do people ignore the smartest voices in a crisis?
I think a lot of it is just ego, at least in my opinion. I feel like they think that their plan's just the best, and there's no way that this, I thought of every possible scenario, so there's no way that you could have come up with something that I didn't also come up with. But I also feel like it also might just be that they don't really know who Maggie is. We've had,
Yeah.
how many years of watching her be this badass and like know that she's so smart. She reads people, she just knows like scenarios. But these people in the new Babylon, they don't really know her. I also find it very suspicious that they won't even consider like her idea, like her
Yeah.
plan, or even consider that there could be, I don't know. It doesn't seem very, it's a big ass ferry with light. Why were the lights on, Diana? They didn't need the lights to go. And you're just like, so my first thought was maybe Narvaez was like a spy, and that's why she was fighting so hard for it, because I couldn't really figure out why else she would put 50 of her people at risk like that without even, there was no conversation. It was just,
Well,
nope, you're not doing
Pearly
it.
too. Well, Pearly
Yeah.
too.
But I feel like they don't also really know, like, they don't really respect him. Like, Narvaez consistently ignores him, and he's higher up than her, I think.
I
He's
don't
a
know. I
colonel.
can't tell. Because yeah, I couldn't tell who was higher up. But then I was thinking, ooh, they're going to think that he's siding with Maggie. Like maybe they're in cahoots because why does he keep sticking up for her? I was worried for him for just a little bit because he was trying to. And that might have been the reason that he kind of went against. He didn't go against Maggie, but he says, oh, let's just push it up and go tonight because they
Mm.
won't expect that. And so I think he was trying to distance himself just a little bit from her so that he wasn't constantly agreeing with her. But it was fun to see Maggie assert herself. And when she punched her, Lucia, I'm like, ooh, yeah, she's going to get in trouble. But I was glad she did. It felt very spontaneous and needed.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I was waiting for someone else to do it. But then thinking about just the whole plan of them being like doing that, like Herschel showing up out of the blue is so suspicious, I think, anyway. He says he follows them, but it's not like he couldn't, like, there wasn't much to, or I think he says he tracks them. There's nothing much to track. It's a whole caravan. I think he left like an hour after. I don't know. I don't really, I think he's up to something. I don't trust him.
Well, do you want me to tell you something right now? When I watched this the first time, I just watched it and I didn't even think it's a second thing. And then when I watched it the second time, I realized that the tires had a blue cloth on it. And then that's what he was doing the tourniquet. So it goes to show you it was him. It was Herschel. And that was
Yep.
why he felt so guilty, because I couldn't figure out why he felt so guilty on
On the boat?
and how he was
I was
like,
so confused.
yes, but it wasn't until the second time that I watched it that I put all the pieces together. I'm like, oh my God. And that's why Maggie was so, looked like she couldn't believe what happened, because she realized her son had done all that, which was crazy. I was curious to know. I'm like, wait, did Sam catch that or did she not? Because I didn't at first, but you did. You did catch that. So yeah, I think most people did eventually. Yeah.
But I also feel like everyone's kind of suspicious, so maybe they're all working together. Yes.
Oh, I loved how Negan orchestrated the fire bombs, the
Oh,
light show to earn
so much.
Yeah, to earn the power from the other factions. This is what I'm talking about with Negan, right? He's thinking ahead. He's thinking, right, let's just not just get through this. Let's put it all together in one fight, right? We do the big old 4th of July fireworks show and we get them to come to us. Instead of just having one faction, we get, both of them too. And so with Bruegel and Christos, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, Christos.
Yeah. So we need to get them too. And let's just do it all in one shot. Little did he know that he would be shooting these zombie fire bombs and then seeing Herschel in the telescope. Yeah. What'd you think about the fire bombs?
I thought it was super fun. And I don't know, all of it's just like super weird. I'm super into it. It's very ridiculous, but just so good. Who thinks of that?
I liked it when they would pump them up and then they would put this goop all over their face. And I don't know.
I painted it.
Yeah, it was another moment that was funny. I just liked it. It was a great use of getting rid of these walkers.
I also think it's kind of nice too, because they do remind us that it's been like a full year. Because my first thought was, how the heck did they come up with these, like, with the shoots or whatever, like overnight? And then I realized it was like they've had like a year to do this. Because I do believe that the Croat knew that they were coming back. I don't know. He's probably been talking to Herschel this whole time, so who knows?
I know.
But why? Why is he doing this?
We're going to dig into that
in a moment.
In a moment. We'll hash it out not hash it out. We'll dig a little deeper. But I want to know what you think about Maggie and Negan taking on parental roles and having parental pain. And, what does it mean to really protect someone in a world like this?
So I think in terms of Negan and Maggie, for them, I think it's like a self-sacrifice. Because I think in Negan's mind, if he does this stuff for the Croat and the DAMA, then they'll leave his family alone or they won't kill them and he'll get them back. Maggie is if she goes to New York, then her people get to volunteer and only go if they want to. And she's really trying to stop so Herschel doesn't have to go, so he'll be safe. But I also think in other ways too, she's navigating a very weird world where her teenage son got kidnapped last year and lived in New York with a bunch of zombies. And he's also a teenager, so he's got those weird hormones. So I think she's just doing her best just to allow him to say and do things that I don't think most parents would probably allow. Like, he said the F word a whole bunch.
I was
And I
gonna
was
bring
like,
that up.
sir.
Yes. He said it several times. I'm like, wait, how old is he supposed to be? And she doesn't even flinch, right? It's just normal for her to hear it. So yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
would that be different if you were just, if it was not an apocalypse, you know?
If or even if he hadn't gotten kidnapped, would he be
Yeah.
talking like that? But I think she knows that there's more to it, and so she's just allowing him to kind of work it out and just being his ear. Because I think if she pushes him too hard, she's going to lose him, and she
Yeah.
knows that.
Hmm.
So she needs to kind of like keep him at like like an arm's length, and like at least in his mind anyway, because no one really knows what went on with his time with the Dama. Like we
I
really don't know.
know. I know. I really hope they give us some sort of a flashback and let us know what's it. I'm sure they will. Something's going to happen. We're going to get to see why he's helping, and like, how did he know how to give a signal like that? Did they coach him before he left?
Or did they put like the tires there and they're like if you're coming, pop the whatever there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. But I do think it is, you do parent differently in this world because you have to. And I also, and we had talked about it last episode about if Maggie wasn't really not allowing, but really letting Herschel do a lot of things individually. She's protective of him. And is she protecting him too much? Has she taught him enough to survive? Which I feel like, being the type of person she is, she would, but it's just so interesting because we didn't get to grow up with Herschel. We've only seen him periodically. So we don't see his personality and what he's learned and what he's gone through. Like in The Walking Dead, we saw Judith. We saw
Hmm.
her and her interactions with people and how she interacted with just all the people in her life and with walkers, where we haven't really seen that with Herschel. So it's much harder for us to see what is with him. I did feel like he was remorseful. Um,
Yeah.
with everything that happened. So I don't think he intended for them to, I think he thought he could tell them, come home, let's go home now, come back with me. And they would. I mean, he's a kid. He can't think like they do strategically. And so, and also, is it to survive? Like, was he brainwashed in some way? What's that thing called? What do you call that?
Stockholm.
Yeah, Stockholm. I was trying
Stockholm
to
syndromes.
remember. Yeah, Stockholm syndrome. Yeah. Was it that too? Right.
I was
So
thinking that maybe.
there's so many things that to see what happens between them, which makes it all the more interesting for us to watch, because
Hmm.
it does deal with Herschel dealing with the other side that are the enemy. So
I also don't think he probably thought, "Oh, I'll send the signal," but maybe he wasn't thinking about things like long term. Like I don't think he
right.
thought about the consequences like at all. Maybe he thought like, "Oh, they won't see it" or something, and then like, and then when he realized what he had done, he was like, "Oh man, I did F up,"
Yeah.
or whatever he said
Yeah.
to his mom.
So I think with both of them, they're just navigating parenthood in this chaos. And are they guiding them, or are they just holding on as best that they can? I don't know. We'll have to see. All right.
Yeah.
So much betrayal happened, and we've talked about some of it already, but can you trust anyone anymore?
I don't think so. I think the only person you could have trusted was Victor, and he's dead. Um, I also don't think we know many of the other crews in New York, so maybe once we get to know them, Negan can kind of like half trust somebody, like and maybe like he and Kim Coates' character Bruegel, maybe they can like work out a deal and take down the Dama. But he's not really gonna like
Mm.
trust him. I feel like he's gonna like you know just tell him what he needs to know, and that's about it. I would say that people can trust Maggie, but I wouldn't trust anyone in her orbit. Maybe Jenny, if anybody, but she's
She
a
has a
kid, so I
gun.
don't. Yeah, well, yeah. I love how quick she thought on her feet to go
Yeah.
and like grab like the toolbox. I really like that. But yeah, but no, I don't think you can trust anybody. What about you?
Yeah. it's funny, but Negan and Maggie, I think that they could trust each other here, which is a really odd thing to say all these years later, because we see that we saw Negan save Herschel. I mean, that's how he got into the whole pickle with the DAMA and the Croat, and because he didn't do something that they thought he could have done. I thought he was going to get away with it, though. I thought he was going to say, I don't know, like, oh, I was waiting till they got to a certain point so I could just send the bombs over at that point or something.
But I feel like he's Negan. He's very quick on his feet. Like, he's very good at lying, and I'm shocked he didn't have a better excuse than he was a kid. Like, shocked.
That's because he was afraid for Victor. He knew what was going to happen. He knew it
as soon as he walked in.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God. So, can you trust anybody? No. I mean, can Maggie trust her son? I think I think she can as far as her life, but can she with making good decisions with his relationship with the DAMA? No, I think she needs to keep an eye on that, because she has some control over him that we don't know about yet. So I don't think she can fully trust him. I think that's why it was so hard for her at the very end when he says, I love you, Mom. And she said, I love you. And her face was so pained. Like I said, the first time around, I had no idea. I'm like, why is she so pained by this? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's because her son sent the signal to the Croat. It's like, oh my gosh, they really got their clutches in him. And I'm sure so much is going through her mind. And also the pictures of the lady that she doesn't know of, who is the DAMA. So there's just a lot going through her. And I thought it did say a lot watching her. And like you said with Ginny, she was so quick on her feet. But yeah, she has. And it's so interesting because she doesn't say much. And even though she talks now, she still doesn't say much. And it's hard to read her, but as her actions have shown that she is with them, and I feel like they can trust her. I just think that gun is going to play a part. And they may be having us assume that she wants to get Negan back. And maybe she does, but maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's going to save everybody by having that gun, because who else has weapons? And also with Pearlie and Lucia, I didn't see Bird get killed, but I know that she did on the boat.
They didn't like talk about it after. She just like died, and they were like, bye.
Yeah. But now I feel like, oh, now you believe Maggie. Now you're following her lead. You know, it's like she had to prove to all of you who she was, because she's like, she knows what's happening. She's been through this. She's been out there surviving. They're following her lead now, which I'm like, oh, good. Follow her, because she knows what the heck she's doing.
Yeah.
And the Croat with Negan, and it's so funny because the Croat just gives these looks, and we had talked about last episode how much he adored Negan, but is that waning now? Is he changing his mind? He's like, oh, he's weak. He feels for a kid. Or is he going to still support him? Or with the DAMA kissing him in his head, telling him that he did good, she just knows how to work it. And he's probably going to just do everything that she tells him to do.
I feel like he's the kind of person that whoever's in power is who he's going to grovel to. So I feel like Negan, like the moment that he's back in charge, the Croat's going to try to be back to being with him. But who knows? I really don't think that if that happens, that Negan's going to take that too kindly.
Yeah.
He'll get to meet Lucille 2.0.
So is survival-based betrayal forgivable?
I don't think so. I feel like, no, I don't know. I don't think it is. I feel like if people get killed, it's not worth it. Because the bigger enemy are the walkers. It's not really people, but, you know. I don't know.
I don't think so either. Not for the most part. I'm thinking like with what Herschel did, that was a betrayal. So is that forgivable?
I feel like because he's a kid, yes. I don't know that I would be more willing to forgive an adult for making that decision, because an adult can think things through.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, because he feels bad about it. I feel like if he hadn't shown remorse, I wouldn't feel like that would be okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
because he is Maggie and Glenn's kid, he's got a big heart.
Yeah. That reminded me of Carl when he shot
Oh,
that guy. They
Carl.
shot the guy in the woods, and then Herschel told Rick, "This is what your son did." That was,
Ooh,
that was,
I forgot that
yeah.
Carl had a dark side.
Yeah.
That was like 10 years ago.
Or, yeah, at least, right? I don't
Or
even
at
know.
least.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I said
Uh,
10, then I was like, anyway, on, I need to focus.
it's okay. I'm just trying to think, do we have anything else that stood out? Any other thoughts, tidbits, or what's next?
I'm kind of excited that they're going into Central Park because they don't go in there. And I know in a commercial or a preview or something, we heard like a roar. So maybe we'll
Oh,
get like a zombie animal because there's a zoo in the park. So maybe
true.
we'll see like a zombie tiger. Have we ever seen?
Well, when's now?
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
But yeah, that's one thing that I kind of can't wait for. What about you? What do you think is coming up?
I know you talked about Benjamin already, but
Yeah,
I find it interesting that he survived. One, he did kind of jump off as it was exploding, and that they found him and they brought him in, and his face, I mean, it was really good. It was very believable because he seemed so freaked out, and he was able to plead his case as to who he was. And so I'm wondering what the DAMA will do. It was funny, even though she was so bad, so evil, and I was so mad at her for what she did. And like you had said, it made you laugh when she went and put the pen in him. There was these tiny bit of moments that the way she acted were funny because she said, "Oh, let's have him stay for a while. Let's see how it goes." Right. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm sure he's saying, "Yeah, let me stay for a while." But it's just her approach to all this. And I told you last week because I'd seen her in Ozark and she was really cutthroat. And I said, she was worse in Ozark up to that point that she could cross the line. And yep, she crossed the
she did it.
line. She did some terrible things in the other series. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
they were well, you have to watch. I'm not giving anything away. Go watch Ozark, people. And you and people go watch Ozark. But yeah, this was bad doing that to Victor, and for so many reasons, not as a person and as an artist and as to what that represented. I thought that was the worst. Um, I don't know. What are we going to see next? I'm curious to see what's going to happen with Herschel and the DAMA. And we saw previews. Is that happening next episode or further down the line? And I liked your idea of Bruegel and Negan teaming up together against the DAMA. I thought they were just going to be two kind of alpha type males going up against each other, but maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe they're going to, go against her. So it'll be interesting to see that. Oh, that painting that the Dama was talking about to Negan, how it was Saturn devouring his son by Francisco Goya, and how he would eat his own children because he didn't want to be overthrown, which is kind of what she's doing.
I was gonna say that's kind of yeah. Pot meets kettle. That painting, it's like it's one of those things where when they highlight a painting like that in
Mhm.
Apocalypse, it always makes me wonder like who grabbed paintings? Like who thought like while we're packing up our stuff, let me grab this ginormous painting. Probably just like people like after everything calmed down and things started to settle, just like exploring and stuff like that. But it's still like really cool that it like survived. I know art was a big thing in the Daryl Dixon
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
So I just like that it's like a continued thread through all of the Walking Dead shows.
Well, I think for a couple of things that come to mind when you said that. One is because there are people who love art, even when they were in the regular world. So I'm sure when they see it, they think this is a work of art. I know what this is, and they bring it along with them. I'm thinking like character wise. I mean, I know really it's the writers who put it in there, but but as characters, there are people who appreciate art just as they were before as they do now. Just like Negan loving Victor play. But now he lost a friend that he had for a year. Can you
Mm-hmm.
imagine this guy who came to your cell for a year and played and talked with you and everything? So, I mean, that was a really big loss for him. So I felt for Negan in that moment when he lost him. So, and I'll be curious to see if we do get to see Negan's wife and his son. They talk about it, but are we actually going to get to see them, or are they just going to talk about them like, as characters out there somewhere that someday will be seen? I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
And then the music that Victor played, I believe, was Bach, and it was violin. Oh, I'm so bad with names, but violin partita number 2 in D minor. Because I've been looking at classical music lately, and that's
Because of the show?
this and another reason. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up before we get to our question of the day?
Uh-uh.
Okay. All right, cool. So we have a lot to anticipate for the next episode. All right. So the question of the day: is there a piece of music that instantly brings you comfort or makes you emotional?
I've actually been trying to think of a song. Do you have one?
Well, I'll share mine then. I'll share mine
Yeah.
and then you can share yours. And mine is going to be on the classical route because that's what has come to mind. So I thought I might have mentioned this. I can't remember, but on the Four Seasons, the program that I watched on Netflix, it's named after Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So we had listened to the music. My son had heard the music, which prompted him to watch the movie or the series too. So then we started listening to a little bit of classical music again. I mean, sure, there's so much music that's recognizable to me, but I don't know who it was when I never committed that to memory. And then this show, I'm like, this is so bizarre that 2 different shows have sparked this curiosity in me again. And so I went back and I listened to different pieces of music. And I mean, there's so many people, right? Even in the show, Victor talked about, going through different people before he found Bach. But another song by Bach that really moves me and I love is Cello Suite number 1 in G minor, Prelude. And if you don't know it, you're not going to know it. But
Mm-mm.
I have the links in our show notes because I want people to hear it. It's Yo-Yo Ma played it. Oh, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. And you'll know it as soon as you hear it. So that is in my links. I have the Vivaldi, the Four Seasons in the link. So if anybody wants to hear that, Samuel Barber does Adagio for strings. It's a bunch of violins that are beautiful and you'll recognize that. It played in Platoon during the
What's
scenes.
that? I've
Platoon.
never seen.
Oh, you've never seen Platoon? It's a war movie. It's a
Yeah.
really popular war movie.
I will listen to it though after we're done.
Yeah, I have all the links. So you can just go to the links and listen to them. So anyway, the Adagio strings, you might recognize it. Well, now I still think you'll recognize it because I think it's been in other movies, but it was in Platoon. And you can imagine during war and hearing that music play. But when I played violin when I was a kid, I did play Beethoven's Ode to Joy. So those are the ones that just classical wise, what brings up emotion in me. And also Titanic, the music in Titanic when the violinists are playing that hymn, Nearer My God to Thee, and they're going down, the ship's going down and they say, one more time, boys, or whatever it is, and they play that. So, and also just on a more contemporary note, it would be also Celine Dion singing that My Heart Goes On. So okay. Did that spark anything for you?
It did actually. So does it have to be like, can I just pick like a
Yes.
modern song? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Well, so a song that popped up that brings me a lot of comfort is Shake It Off by Florence and the Machine. It's off her album called Lungs, which came out, I think, nope, I'm not even gonna try and guess it because I have no idea. But it talks about how like there are demons on your back and you just gotta like do like a shake, and like that's just kind of what I do whenever that song comes on. I just kind of like get in the mood and I just like I play it, which then ultimately will lead into another one of her songs, which is called Free. And that one I really just like, because most of the time like I'm playing it because I want to like,
Yeah.
I want to get there is something that is holding me back or them overthinking and just to get your body moving and flowing is just wonderful. I'm big into yoga, and I think body, I think I sound so woo woo, but I think like I just to get out all the jitters is just what is just good.
Yeah. No, I love that. I don't know that. I don't know the song. I have to go look that up, but I will go look it up because I'm curious to hear it. As you were talking, it made me think about this weekend, and I have vinyls that I'll put on. And I looked through my vinyls. I'm like, who do I want to listen to? And I put on Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. It
Mm-hmm.
was a compilation of their
Mm-hmm.
greatest hits. Oh my gosh, it took me back and it made me feel so good, like so good. I don't know what it was. And so then I tried to pick another album because I have a lot of different albums, and I started to put the Eagles on. It was just too mellow at the time. And then I put the Who on, and the album I have of the Who wasn't hitting me right either. It wasn't the same. I wasn't getting what I was getting from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. There was just something about that particular music that hit me really good. It made me feel good. Something about it made me feel good. So I know what you mean, like when
Mm-hmm.
something just makes you feel good. So yeah, music can do that. And I love all kinds of music. So it was hard. That's why I don't want to open it up for me to all kinds, because then I'd have like my brain would be going all over the place, where at least with classical, it was easier for me to narrow down. But then I had to share with you my moment this weekend with Tom
Yeah.
Petty.
Oh, actually, I got the album wrong. To Take It Out was actually on Ceremonials, not on Lungs. Listening to her for a long time. I listened to all of it. I just got confused, I think. But go listen to both albums. They're great.
Yeah. And that was Florence and the Machines, correct?
It is. Yep.
Yeah.
Florence and the Machine. Yep.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to go check that out. I'll try to have the link in our show notes so that people can check it out there too. All right. And I'm just going to say it because we're on here. But yes, my background has changed. We're still recording the same day, but with internet issues, it took my background away. So I just want to put it out there in case people are wondering. All right. But we want to know, friends out there, if there is a song for you that makes you feel emotional or makes you feel happy or put you in a good mood. We want to know. You can leave us a comment wherever you're listening or watching us. If you need to get to our social media and let us know there, you can go to our show notes, which will take you to our website at screensinfocus.com. All of our social media is there. Let us know about in answering the question of the day or just about this episode if you have anything you want to share with us. And you can even call us. You can even call us and leave us a message at 669-223-8542 because we want to hear from you. All right. That wraps it up for Dead City episode 2. Come back for episode 3. Now we're going to get to our TV and movie recommendations. And before we get into the few that we have for you, we do want to talk about The Last of Us, the latest episode. And if you haven't seen it, fast forward 2 minutes while we talk about this. What did you think of the latest episode?
I don't even know. It was so good. The spores being in the air is just so good. Chef's kiss. Just what are we gonna walk into this weekend with Joel? He's back.
I
Love
know.
seeing that face.
Yes.
The scars are terrifying. What is the matter with
Oh, the Seraphites?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Seraphites. Yeah, the scars. Oh, I don't like getting
I thought they were good. I thought they were going to be good originally when we saw them walking through the woods, and then when that Jeffrey Wright's character was Isaac, when he was kind of interrogating that one guy, I'm like, oh man, but and the guy that he was tormenting or whatever you want to call it, interrogating, he looked like he was a decent guy. He was just holding true to what he believed. But now I'm like, holy crap. Okay, you've
Well,
taken a
but if
turn.
holding true to
So.
what you believe involves killing other people, you're not
Right.
good.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
and that
That's what I
that
mean.
way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
It's
good. And I
yeah.
just my favorite. Oh my gosh, it was so tense when they were in like the warehouse with all of like the stalkers or the smart
Oh,
ones or whatever. And they
freaked
were like,
out.
"Oh,
Yeah.
there's only one. We've got this." And I was like,
Yeah.
"There's not just gonna be one. There's not just gonna be one. I know it." And I'm like, uh, I'm holding the dogs like squirming. Oh, how about you? Like, what were your thoughts?
Oh, everything that you just said was, I was spot on. I loved Ellie confronting
Nora.
what's her Nora. Yes. And then I
Tati
saw
Gabrielle, thank you. I love her so much. She's so good. Ugh.
I love seeing I've seen on TikTok where they show you the video playing the video game compared to what really happened. And Bella Ramsey, man, I thought she was so good. And she was okay, not like I like seeing death or beating or hurting other people, but man, was I with her on this one? I'm like,
Oh yeah.
get her, Ellie, just get her. Well, because she said, "Oh, that bitch got everything he deserved."
I know.
I'm like, what are you saying?
She had me for like half a second because I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, because not
Yeah.
everyone in that group was for killing Joel
Yes.
like that.
True.
You know, but then it hit me and I was like, no, she was one of the ones that's obviously on Team Crazy.
Well, she was holding her down too. She was the one holding Ellie down. And so, man, did I love seeing that last moment when he walks in. Oh my God, my heart melted. I told you already, like, this is why I watch the show. So we get to have some flashbacks. It'll be so nice to see him. So I'm happy about that and to see how it moves forward and what everybody ends up doing. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next episode. What else? What other recommendations do you have for everyone?
So I'm watching Doctor Who, which is on Disney Plus. I think I talked about this last year when it was on, and it's a second season. Awashuti as the Doctor. He has a new companion. She's wonderful and lovely. I'm also watching Your Friends and Neighbors, which is on Apple TV. It's John Hamm.
Do you like it?
I love it. I think
do? Okay.
John Hamm is just, I don't know. There's something about it. He just, I don't know. He makes me giggle. So John Hamm is a hedge fund finance bro who gets effed over by his boss and or friend, and he's broke and he doesn't want to tell anyone because he's got appearances to upkeep. And so he starts to like burgle in his neighborhood because everyone else is like really rich, like $1 billion homes. And then like shenanigans ensue.
Ah, okay.
It's him, Amanda Peet, Olivia Munn's in it. Might be it.
I like Apple TV Plus shows, so I might give it a shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like 8 episodes in now. It's like pretty new, so you could still have time to like catch up. It's insane that it's taken me this long to see Captain America Brave New World, because I used to be one of those people that midnight, like the day before, we're getting in line, we're seeing the movies, and I just watched it like at home with the dogs, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I would have been disappointed had I seen it in person, like in like a theater, but I definitely enjoyed it like at home. Harrison Ford's great, super fun. He plays Agent Ross, and Anthony Mackie is great as the new Captain America. And Danny Ramirez, he plays a character in The Last of Us, Manny. He's the guy who Ellie cut with her knife.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm going to share with you just really quickly what I'm watching. Handmaid's Tale, Hulu.
Oh.
Season 6. Are you watching it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We have so much to talk about next week. Oh my gosh. If you're not watching it, go watch it. If you're watching it, you know how we feel about it. I've done a couple of TikTok. Go on my TikTok or on my YouTube and you'll see a few shorts that I've talked about, friends out there. Now I'm watching The Stolen Girl on Hulu. I think I'm on 3rd, 4th episode. It's coming out weekly. It's British. I've mentioned this previously, but I'm mentioning it again. This woman lets her daughter stay at a playdate's house, and that woman ends up packing up and leaving with her daughter. And so when they go to the house, because they're like, oh, this is where I left my daughter, the place is like a rental. It was like they just came in, pretended to be there. And like, so when the mom came in and saw that the house is normal, and then all of a sudden her daughter is gone. And people are thinking, journalists are thinking, oh, did you do this? What's your background? All this other stuff. So it's really crazy. And I'm like gripped by it. So gripped by it. So it's good. And then the studio I wanted to bring up, I've been watching it every week. It is such a smart written show. It's Seth Rogen. What I love is that they make fun of themselves. Like Ron Howard will come on an episode and it's making fun of what kind of a person or director he is. Anthony Mackie is in it. Martin Scorsese is in it as a director. There's just so many. I can't even tell you all of them. It is hilarious. It is so funny. It's self-deprecating as to what type of, directors and actors. So that's why it's so amusing and so well done. So I highly recommend the studio. That is on Apple Plus TV. But the two movies that I wanted to bring up are Babygirl on Max with Nicole Kidman. And I believe his name is it Harris Dickinson? Does that sound about right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. It's basically, she's a, woman in power CEO, and she has an affair with an intern. But it doesn't follow the typical, it does and it doesn't. It has to do with, she has this really supportive, amazing husband, has two daughters, and her life seems idyllic in a way, but really has some issues, some self-acceptance when it comes to her sexuality and just how she deals with it, just all kinds of things. Some stuff that she's dealing with apparently for a long time. I don't want to give too much away. But it ends differently. It was kind of a mixed bag for a lot of people. I found it intriguing and watchable. It wasn't like, oh, this is the best movie I've ever seen, because it isn't. But I was glad that I watched it, and I'm so glad I didn't watch it in the theaters. I would have been like, people watching me watch this, because there's some erotic moments in there, but interesting to say the least. So it's a good movie. The other thing is The Companion on Max. Did you watch this by chance?
No, but I want to.
Okay, so Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid are in this, and Sophie plays a robot named Iris who, oh God, I don't want to give very much away, but things are not what they seem. Okay. And it felt like a Black Mirror episode. Okay. So some things go awry, haywire, but hey, just go watch it. Check it out. It's really good. It's out on Max. Okay. So those are our recommendations. Sam, thank you for coming today and joining me and having this talk about Dead City and your recommendations. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so very much for having me. It was an absolute joy. I always have a good time talking to you about the TV shows I watch.
Me too. Can't wait for next week. We are so glad that you joined us. Thank you for joining us today. We are grateful you joined us. We hope we said something that gave you a new thought, an insight, a chuckle, some inspiration. Remember to subscribe to Screens in Focus at screensinfocus.com. And remember to keep watching, keep exploring, and keep those screens in focus. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.